Hey guys, Carl Cooper here with On the Black, following up more on my 2010 season in review. Want to talk about second base for the New York Mets. Basically, with 2010, the Mets started out, Luis Castillo was the guy at second base at the beginning of the year, and they ended with Ruben Tejada being the guy at second base for the New York Mets. And to be frank, from an offensive standpoint, the Mets got absolutely no production out of second base this year. Now, granted, Ruben Tejada is a young player. He's still growing. I actually like Tejada as a player, especially defensively. But, if you look at the numbers between him and Castillo, the Mets were pretty bad from an offensive standpoint. With that said, I think the Mets have a lot of questions that they need to answer about second base this offseason. The first thing is Luis Castillo. They have to find a way to get Castillo off this team. The Mets cannot come back into spring training in 2011 with Luis Castillo on this roster. Jerry Manuel didn't want to play him at all. He went with Tejada. Castillo, for the amount of money the Mets are playing him, are getting absolutely nothing out of him, and they have to figure out a way to get him off of this team. With that said, if they could do that, then they have to ask the question, in my opinion, is Ruben Tejada the guy at second base for 2011? Or should they look elsewhere, whether that be free agency or a trade? And I don't think that question is that easy, that simple to answer. And here's why I say this: from a defensive standpoint, I think Tejada can hold his own at second base. Offensively, he's a young player; he's still growing, so the Mets may want to give him a chance to grow. But with that said, they have to find a way to get some more power and more offensive production out of other positions. And I really think that that will help the Mets determine, piece of it will help the Mets determine whether Ruben Tejada can be the guy at second base next year. For example, if Beltran comes back and he's healthy, if Jason Bay comes back and the Mets think that his power numbers will increase, and depending on what happens with right field, if there's someone out there in right field that's going to hit 15, 20, 25 home runs, if they have that type of scenario, then they might be able to live with Ruben Tejada at second base from an offensive standpoint. Again, defensively, he's fine. Offensively, he's still learning and still trying to grow. He did look overmatched at times this year, but that would be the scenario where I could see Tejada being the Mets second baseman next year. If let's say the Mets trade Beltran this offseason, or if he's not healthy, and let's say that they don't fill right field with someone who's going to put up a lot of numbers, then I think you have to look at second base as a position where you need more out of from an offensive standpoint, and then that may mean going out making a trade or bringing in a free agent to play second base. So those are kind of my quick thoughts on second base for 2010, and then looking ahead to 2011. Would love to hear your thoughts, guys, on second base, what direction you think the Mets should go. Let me know, and I will talk to you soon.